it do? What's good, family? It's your boy Trey, Fraser, Maestro Styles, here in the building,
Yes,
y'all. Welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Make sure you guys follow us on our Instagram page at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also on Twitter, you can follow us at Barbershop SPOR2. A special shout out to our Facebook Live viewers right now, as we are streaming on Facebook Live right now. You guys can go to the Facebook page and click the like button, and also to our YouTube viewers, shout out to you guys as well. We are streaming on YouTube Live now as we speak, and we got a little glitch here, but for all y'all YouTube users, make sure y'all go follow us. Hit the subscribe button, make sure y'all follow us there. Maestro, it's another week, man. What's good?
Yeah, and I see you trying to set the mood over there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I'm about to.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. We got these lights keep flickering on and off. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why my new light is just acting off. The light to the room real quick, and then we could just kind of get this thing started.
I got you. So
Okay.
I ain't gonna hold you. I can't. You good? Yeah, you good. I see.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say there's a lot going on, but I'll say this, man. I'm thankful. One, let me be clear. Let me make sure I say that.
Yeah.
But Spencer Jones got his ass whipped. You heard? You saw this video?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay. Spencer Jones is a wide receiver for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Mm-hmm.
White boy.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, he got into a fight with him and his mans got into a fight in the bathroom of a bar and got his ass whooped. He was in there allegedly he almost lost the eye, got his ass whooped. He was fighting the MMA. He ended up fighting somebody that was like MMA trained.
Okay.
He was talking crazy to him, and he whipped his ass. And I just wonder,
black man whoop his ass?
Huh?
Was it a black man that beat him up?
Nah, it was white on white crime.
White on white. Okay.
Yeah, white on white crime, but it was a thorough ass whipping, and it looked like he deserved it. I mean, obviously, I couldn't hear everything that was going on, and I wasn't, but it seemed like he deserved the ass whooping. One of those good old fashioned bar ass whippings that you shouldn't, you should try to keep yourselves out of, because
right.
you don't want to be in there fighting, because you don't know who you're gonna be. You don't know who you fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah. So
no, I didn't see that.
Spencer Jones, Spencer Jones and his mans that was with him got their ass whooped. Got their ass whoop.
I gotta look for some photos.
Dude was getting his mans was getting slammed into, they was literally in the bathroom. His mans got slammed into a dude while he was peeing. It got a little crazy, bruh. But
wow.
Yeah, shout out to Spencer Jones for that ass whipping you caught.
Well, are there pictures of this floating around?
It's a whole video. It's a video. I mean, Spencer Jones. It's a whole video.
Spencer Jones. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a whole video of it, of him. Kind of. Getting a little spicy. His man's slap dude. Dude tried to calm down. He was like, nah, fuck it, ain't no calming down.
He was like, nah.
Gave Spencer Jones a 2-piece and a biscuit.
Ain't no talking. Yeah.
Spencer Jones got the quarter 2-piece and a biscuit. Then his man's just got manhandled by MMA mans. It was vicious.
Wow.
It was ass whooping.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of fights, I guess since we're on the subject, I didn't watch either one of these boxing matches over the weekend, but just a couple of things that I took out of both matches: Oscar Valdez and Miguel Berchelt. Berchelt got clean, bruh, with that one punch. He got clean, hit the mat really good, man. And
I ain't watch it, so I mean.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either, but I just saw the highlight. where they were back and forth, and then he just hit him one time real good, and my man just hit the mat. I mean, you could hear the announcer. He was like, "Oh!" I was like, "Yeah." Like he hit the mat like real hard. Like there was no coming back from that. And then this other fight, right? Adrian Broner is back in the ring. He fought Santiago. I forget the guy's first name, but apparently Adrian Broner, they gave him the victory in the fight, but yet this dude Santiago was landing like almost a lot more punches than Adrian Broner did. And Katz was on Twitter like, wait, how did Adrian Broner win this fight and he was getting outclassed? Apparently it was unanimous. Like they gave Adrian Broner the fight, and people have been reacting to his press conference after the fight, and I didn't watch the full conference, but Adrian Broner, man, he's just being Adrian Broner. You know what I mean? Just regular nigga. Regular nigga, don't keep himself in shape.
Didn't know he fought, so
not committed to his craft. I mean, I think we spoke about that a few times on the show, and he just kept it moving. But I didn't know he was fighting either up until I saw highlights of that fight. So, but shout out to all the boxers that had their matches this weekend.
Yep.
I did want to make sure I mentioned this before we, got into some of the heavy topics. I did find out about 3:00 this afternoon that Tiger Woods was in a serious car accident. I think in California. And his car rolled, and they had to, pull him out with the jaws and stuff.
Prayers out to him, man.
Yeah. Much prayers out to him. I heard.
Let me ask you, bruh.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you, bruh. This is behind the scenes question for you. What was up with the emoji, man?
With the tiger emoji?
Yeah, what was up with the emoji, man?
Tiger.
I couldn't. First of all, you couldn't find a more like. I'm sure Apple got a more gangster tiger than that tiger.
Well, when you type the word tiger, that emoji pops up. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just use the emoji on my phone. What's that?
Yeah, I said don't know emojis pop up while I'm typing.
Really?
I see the punk tiger that you picked, and then I see the regular masculine tiger.
Okay.
I mean, I'm totally against the emoji altogether, but I just wonder what your thinking was.
Oh, well, you had kind of dropped out for a minute. We're just having some sound issues here, but no, what I was asking you right after you said that no emojis pop up every time you type something, I was asking you which phone you had. And you said you had the XR, right?
XR, yeah.
Now, is that the model that came out last year?
No, it's an old model.
It's an old model? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I thought I'd share with you that earlier this evening I did cop the iPhone 12 on the $700 credit promo that AT&T.
This is not an ad.
I know it's not an ad. It's not an ad.
I'm just saying we getting flagged all over the place magically for some reason. So I just want to make sure that we say that it's not an ad.
No, we're not promoting AT&T. I'm just letting people know that I did cop the iPhone 12 earlier today.
Yeah, but they got the masculine tiger, bro. I mean, personally, I would have just typed tiger. I don't know. I don't know.
Again, I typed the word and I was meaning to just type the word, and then the tiger emoji came up, so I was just like, oh, all right, I'm gonna just pick the emoji then. It wasn't like I was searching for it. It just so happened to appear. So,
that emoji is trash.
So,
especially when we speaking about a legend.
Oh well, Look, I don't care. I just wanted to give my, prayers and
Come on,
shout
man.
outs to Tiger Woods. Like I'm not
Tiger
even.
Woods might not like that little soft ass tiger that you picked.
Look, I don't care what Tiger Woods likes or doesn't like. I just
How
want
you-
I just
how you-
I just want
Huh?
the man to survive this car accident.
Yeah, but
That's
he
all.
might
That's all.
feel
That's all.
like
That's all I care about right now.
yeah, he might not fuck with that joint though. He might feel like you disrespected him with that soft ass Nickelodeon tiger.
All right. Well, I mean, is
Would you
Tiger?
apologize if he said, "Yo, Trey, I don't fuck with that"?
No. No.
So you would offend that. You would have.
No.
So if that legend told you, "I'm offended by you putting that soft ass tiger in place of my name when I'm a legend in this game, a black legend in this game," and you dare disrespect me with that fucking bitch ass Nickelodeon emoji, that you wouldn't be like,
No.
"Hey Tiger, you know what? You right, my bad.
No. I wouldn't.
You disrespectful, bruh.
I wouldn't.
Disrespectful.
And
disrespectful,
and
bruh.
don't try to tie this into his accident. I just want the man to survive the accident. It was terrible. I saw what the car looked like on TV today. I don't want to wish that for him, but I hope he comes out of there successful surgery, gets back on his feet, and all that good stuff.
And last I saw, he was in stable condition. I think he came out of surgery. Nah, I don't know.
Oh, he came. Is he out already?
Last I checked, he is in stable condition after suffering 2 leg fractures and a shattered ankle in a car crash this morning. That was 15 minutes ago.
Okay. All right.
According to CNN.
All right. Praying for a speedy recovery.
All jokes and questionable emojis aside, we definitely do wish a speedy recovery for Tiger Woods and all that are involved. It was a 1-car crash, so it was just him. He was awake through. He didn't faint or pass out, and he was up and through the whole thing. And like I said, much
love.
Say that, but get well soon.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting to. Get well soon.
So
legend in the game.
So let me say what's up. We're on Facebook Live right now, and we got Mocha Bella in our chat on Facebook Live, sending prayers to Tiger Woods, and she also says to you, Maestro, to stop making a big deal about a tiger emoji. I thought it was just me, but I'm like, it's not a big deal. I thought it was just me. Other people feel the same way I do. It's just an emoji. That's it.
It could just be me. But I'm gonna express myself.
I think it is you, but
I don't think. Well, let me be clear. It's not just me. I've had this conversation with 3 people, but but
I'm interested to hear what those 3 people's thoughts were about it.
I will get those thoughts for you candidly.
Okay.
Candidly meaning you can hear them say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll do it off air though.
We'll see about that. NFL. The big news is the Carson Wentz trade from Philadelphia over to the Indianapolis
Seems so
Colts.
long ago.
It does. It does. I think it broke Wednesday or Thursday of last week. But of course we gotta, rap about it and give our thoughts on this thing. So the compensation from the Colts was a second rounder for 2022, right, and a third rounder for this coming draft. Am I right?
I thought it was a second round and a conditional.
Second round and conditional? Okay.
That's what I thought.
Okay. But bottom line, it was 2 draft picks that the Colts gave in return for Carson Wentz.
Yep. And, man, when I tell you that that really goes to show what they feel about Carson Wentz.
They being the Eagles?
Really both teams involved. Well, the Eagles, I guess. The Eagles. Let's say the Eagles then. Because that was a first round guy. That was the guy they thought was going to be the guy at one point. It says it smells of I don't fuck with you no more. Let's just get you out of here because I don't fuck with you no more.
Okay. So I guess I feel a little bit differently about this. I won't say I guess. I do feel a little bit differently about this because I remember the Eagles coming out and saying we want to get a Matthew Stafford type of deal where they traded Stafford and the Lions got like a haul back plus Jared Goff. That wasn't happening. I mean, from the moment they said that wasn't happening in my eyes, and for a few reasons. Number one, Carson Wentz has had a terrible year this past year, and you won't see it statistically from 2019, but he didn't look good in certain moments in the previous season. But his numbers kind of back up. You know, the 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Those aren't bad numbers, but I think when people watched Carson Wentz in 2019, they saw a quarterback that just didn't look like he was in the shape from 2017, the MVP year before he got hurt. So I look at it like this. Like, I mean, you are what your market is. You're coming off of a terrible year where you got benched. You got benched week 14 for a second-round quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, Jalen Hurts should not have to compete for this starting job for the Eagles. I'm hearing a lot of talk about them possibly drafting a quarterback and, you know, maybe looking for one in the market. And in my opinion, Jalen Hurts should be the starter week 1 going into the season. But as far as Carson Wentz is concerned, they wasn't getting no Matthew Stafford type of deal. Not with the season he had. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, a second rounder and a conditional don't seem like that just don't seem like a lot to me, bro. Like that seems like the Colts. That seems like the Colts got a quarter steal. That's what it seemed like to me. The Colts quarter steal.
The Colts The Colts raped them. I mean, let's just call it what it is. The Colts. They beat him in the head, pretty much.
Well, then if you can agree that the Colts not only got the better of the deal, but in your terms raped them, then the Eagles sold low, right?
I think they sold low, but I also think that I don't think they had another choice either.
So you don't think they could have got anything better than a second rounder and a conditional?
I think, now, here's what I think. I think had they talked to the Bears, because I know they were in conversation for Carson Wentz, I think if they would have tried to make something happen with them, I think not only the Bears would have sent them draft picks, but they would have also sent them maybe a player or two. Now, I heard one of those players would have been Nick Foles, but I don't think Philly wanted Nick Foles. So I think that's why the deal with the Bears just kind of went off the table. But as far as like the second and third rounder or the conditional, like you were saying, they could have got that from the Bears, but I also think they would have added a player into that deal. Now with the Colts, it might have just been for the Colts. Hey, look, we know we need a quarterback, but we also know that we have some options. I mean, we can go to the draft, we can go free agency, we can re-sign Jacoby Brissett. I don't think the Colts were that desperate. I just think the Eagles, it was just more about, okay, realistically, we're not going to get a haul for this guy, and he clearly doesn't want to play in Philly, so let's just, make this thing happen, and let's just move on with our lives, and, let's go from there.
So, just for clarification, you don't think they could have got a better deal somewhere else?
Nah,
for Carson Wentz.
I think if they would have stuck with the Bears, I think the Bears would have been able to add a player or two along with a second round and a third rounder or a conditional pick. But I think because it was the Colts that they did the deal with, I don't think the Colts were going to offer much more because I think the Eagles at that point showed their hand.
So why did they do the deal with the Colts and not the Bears?
That's a good question.
Why not wait for another team? I mean, you like I'm saying, Carson Wentz. Yes, Carson Wentz has had 2 down years for certain.
Yep.
Just in the look, like everything you said as far as your assessment of his past 2 years, I agree with 100%. But to say after 4 years. And to say like he don't still have upside, like he still can't turn his career around and come and go back to the form of what people thought he was going to be when he came in the league and what he showed that 1 year.
Yep.
It's crazy to me for them to let him go for so little. I think I
don't disagree with that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that as okay, you might not get a Matthew Stafford deal, but you got dealt with. This was bad on Philly's part. This was bad on Philly's part. Philly just got a sucker deal.
But it's also a reminder that Howie Roseman is the general manager, and Howie Roseman, for the most part, over the last 3-4 years has been a lousy general manager. I mean, I just go back to last year's draft, and as much as I love the Jalen Hurts getting picked up, in the second round, it was just the more, I guess, the psychological thing, right? So Carson Wentz is your starter, but you draft Jalen Hurts. Like, what was the thinking there? Were you trying to put pressure on Carson to play better? Were you trying to, you know what I'm saying?
But I'm with that though.
Right. Yeah. I don't disagree with that part.
Yeah.
But then you look around the roster, and you're seeing receivers and guys that you never heard of, and it's like, yo, this roster, and I got to give you some credit, Maestro, because I think you've told me for about maybe a couple years that there was something about this Eagles team that just didn't sit right. Like, kind of like when we were making our predictions for what, teams were going to do. I think you were onto something with that in terms of this roster just doesn't look great. Like, they got some salary cap issues. They got a few old guys that they're trying to, shed some salary off of. And
I don't believe in nobody. I mean, essentially, Miles Sanders was unproven. I mean, I think we got a little more stock. I think his stock is a little higher than it was coming in the last year. But
I agree with that.
Outside of that, I mean, who do you really trust and believe in on this offense? Defensively, Fletcher Cox is always going to be, a staple in the defense for as long as he's going to, for as long as he, performs at that level. But I mean, really, outside of that, I mean, Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you left out Zach Ertz on the offensive side.
No, I did it intentionally. Don't look the same. I mean, we talking about Dallas Goedert. We was talking about Dallas Goedert a lot last year.
Yeah.
It don't really look the same. He don't look the same.
Right. Well, Zach Ertz has had some injuries. I know that, and they're not trying to re-sign him too.
And they were trying to get him out since early last year.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, just everything in regards to building this team. I don't know about the GM, bruh. I mean, just kind of go back to some of the decisions. I mean, Doug Peterson. I mean, I'm not gonna cry, holy hell for Doug Peterson to keep his job, but come on, the guy wins the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback, and then 3 years later he's gone. Like, I've never. In the history of watching football, I've never seen that before.
I don't know if I'm necessarily mad at that.
Well, I'm not mad at it personally. I'm just talking about the optics of it, right? And so I think I mentioned this before. Like, when you go to past coaches that have won Super Bowls, they've stayed with those teams for, long periods of time. And in some cases, they've been able to kind of walk away on their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Dungy, when he won his Super Bowl, he was able to walk away on his own merit. Other coaches stayed 5, 6, 7 years. What's that?
I mean, but I don't think Tony Dungy is a good comparable when we're talking about Doug Peterson, and I say that because Tony Dungy has been a good coach for years and
Before
years
that
and
Super
years.
Bowl, yes.
Yeah, before that Super Bowl, he's
Yep.
a legendary coach. Doug Peterson is not a legendary coach. Yes, he did win that Super Bowl and deserves credit. Frank Reich also deserves credit in that year
I
for
agree
winning
with
that
that.
Super Bowl. Who also is got a coaching job and is doing well with the Colts, by the way.
Yep.
So now you got to look at that and wonder,
I agree with that. And again, and
and the
again,
Eagles haven't been good
right.
since then.
And again, when Wentz got hurt, and I was one of them, I was like, oh, the Eagles, they're gonna get bounced in the first round. I remember
Yeah.
that week. I think it was the Falcons that they played in that second round. I was like, oh, the Falcons will get them up out of there because I didn't believe in Nick Foles, and then they beat the Falcons, and then they beat the Vikings, and then they're in the Super Bowl. So it's like you gotta credit, and like you said, you credit Peterson, you credit Frank Wright, and 3 years later, it's a whole nother regime for the Eagles. But
And let's be clear, they haven't been really good since then.
they haven't.
They haven't been good. So again, my thing is that I wonder, who was the real brains behind the operation, because Frank Wright's still doing good in Indianapolis.
And I wonder, once Peterson was let go, when there was talk about him wanting more control, I wonder if it's the front office. Like it seems like the front office is trying to get the credit for Jerry Jones kind of a situation where the owner and the general manager are saying this is their team. And look, the owner, it is his team. He has every right to make the decisions and and all that good stuff. But when you don't give the coach that request of having more responsibility in regards to the roster, and we looking at all the other decisions you're making, like drafting Jalen Reagor, and we still have yet to see what he is, but nobody was looking at Jalen Reagor in a draft, and they passed over CD Lamb last year.
Yeah, I'm about to say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I ain't gonna put too much stock in them drafting Jalen Reagor outside of the fact that they could have got CD Lamb instead.
Yep. And Justin Jefferson. I think I forgot about that too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll wait to see if Reagor becomes somebody before I'll go that route with them. All that to say is, for me, and as far as Philly goes, I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as to say this is Jerry Jones. This is my team. I'm gonna do what I want, even if it's the illogical thing to do or not the best thing, seemingly not the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But I will say, one, Frank Wright is gone, and they haven't been good since. And two, this roster sucks.
Yeah.
I won't say sucks. They're an average roster. They don't suck, but
look, I've talked to a friend of mine at work who's a Eagles fan, and I told him, I said, look, man, I think Jalen Hurts has a lot of upside. And we had, 4 games last year to kind of look at Jalen Hurts to see what he could do. I thought he played well in those games given the circumstance. I think there's a ceiling for him. What they need to do is take a page out of the Ravens book. Draft players and build a team around Jalen Hurts and what Jalen Hurts can do with his style of play, his style of football, and just let him play for the year. Like, don't even think about pulling him out of a game. Don't even think about having a story about, oh, is he the real deal or is he not? Build the team around Jalen Hurts and see what happens for 16 games. And if you think you got something, if you think if it's gonna produce results for the team, then I think the Eagles may be onto something. But again, Howie Roseman's a GM.
You would only give Jalen Hurts a year?
I won't give him a year. No. Like, let's say.
No, I'm asking because you said get 16 games and see what's happening. I mean, the way I see it is you drafted him second round.
Yeah.
But early, so essentially almost a first rounder. But whatever.
He's the future. Yeah.
So treat him as such.
Treat him like he's the future. Yes.
So that is a 4-year. That is a 4-year lease.
Right.
Lease. I'm sorry, 4-year trial run. Like you need to try to build a team, a Super Bowl team. I mean, obviously, if that's the goal.
Yep.
You need to try to build a Super Bowl team around Jalen Hurts. You got 4 years to do it before you have to pay him, and then you got a decision to make if you ain't won a Super Bowl yet.
Yeah. Now, when I said 16 games, I wasn't saying that to say that all he has is 16 games to see if he can get it done or not. I was saying play him all 16 games this season. Don't pull him. Don't, just because a game isn't going right or he's playing terribly, make him play right through it, because this is the guy that you drafted in the second round, and second rounders are guys that are considered to be futures of the franchise for whoever, drafts them. So I'm just saying 16 games in terms of don't have the guy looking behind his shoulder to the next guy. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's what I mean by that. But we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like he's the future of that team. And quite frankly, all these reports about them drafting a quarterback, like, that's just ridiculous. You drafted him in the second round. Like, that, come on. It makes no sense. You got picks back. You got one extra pick in the second round this coming draft. So you got 2 second rounders. You got your first rounder. Build that team around Jalen Hurts and just keep it moving.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I don't even have my list up.
Well, I go to my rumor mill real quick.
Okay. Ooh, I think I know where you're going. Go ahead.
Okay, there's a rumor that I literally saw this like before we got on air. That Jeff Bezos is trying to buy the football team. Jeff Bezos, who just recently stepped down as the CEO of Amazon, richest person in the world, could probably buy the NFL if he wanted to. Is looking to buy an NFL team. What I heard was if he buys this Baltimore investment firm called Moog and Company, that he will have a percentage ownership of the Washington football team. I would love to say that my my inconsistent tweets Fire Dan Snyder helped. Probably didn't, but I'm gonna claim it anyway. Bless you.
Next.
But fingers crossed. Jeff.
So Jeff Bezos has some kind of firm in DC. I think he also
is in Baltimore.
There's a couple of Amazon factories here. One not far from my house, and one in the city. Also, he's got a connection with Virginia. I don't know if it's his place of residence or what, but he's definitely looking to invest, like you said, the Washington football team. I have 2 feelings about it, though. My first feeling is that I would be so happy that Dan Snyder would be out as majority owner of the football team. He would probably still have some kind of minority stake into it, but that's okay because Jeff Bezos would come in and he would command the front office and the personnel immediately as being the majority owner. My other feeling about this is we still don't have black ownership. Like the opportunity, I'm just waiting for the moment where we can finally say we have one of our own as a majority owner in the NFL. And these openings don't come around very often, right? Like, there's not a lot of opportunities where either one of these 32 franchises are for sale. I think the last few stories that we've heard of change of ownership is when an owner passes away, i.e. Robert McNair, the Seahawks owner Paul Allen a couple of years ago. And then you also heard
rarity that they kick somebody out for some egregious shit that they can't hide in their billionaires boy club.
Yeah, right. And then the Detroit Lions example where I forgot her name, but Ford, she stepped down, and I think the daughter is taking over as the owner of the team. So you rarely get these opportunities where a team either is for sale or you got a billionaire with mad dough looking to invest in a franchise. That's my disappointment in it, is that there's an opportunity that's open and it's not a black person or a black group that's gonna be in line to purchase the Washington football team.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
But in terms of Jeff Bezos possibly buying the team, I think it'll be a good look. Obviously, sure, I agree with you. I would love to have a black ownership team come in and purchase the football team. But Jeff Bezos is a consolation prize for sure.
No doubt.
I think he's rich enough to know. Look, I'm gonna make this company, meaning the football team. I'm gonna make them more wealthier. Incorporate some of the technology, make all that work, and then he gonna be so focused on business that hopefully he just hires the right GMs and people who deal with football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and for all intents and purposes, they don't have a bad team right now. They're not doing terribly as far as acquisitions of players and things of that nature. I mean, they have drafted probably the best defensive line in the game.
Yep.
They
got that going for them.
Yep. They definitely got that going for them. They
got a good receiver.
They got pieces. They got pieces. Is all I'm saying.
Yep.
I also heard a rumor about. It's not a rumor. They talked. I saw someone on ESPN talking about the idea of Ryan Fitzpatrick going to the football team, and
okay.
It was. It did intrigue me.
Mm-hmm.
It did intrigue me. Let Heineke sit, watch a vet do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Now, didn't they give Heineke like an $8 million extension?
Yeah, they gave him an
To
extension.
be a backup?
Yeah, to be a backup, right? So
yep.
You could bring in but the thing is that you could bring in Fitzpatrick you don't have to pay him starter money.
Right.
He for all intents and purposes does play starter football, even if it's like lower.
It's it could be it could be reckless football sometimes.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Low 20 ball, but he hasn't been bad. He hasn't been terrible. When you put it all together, he hasn't been terrible. He's been average. You get that with McLaurin, Gibson, and that defense. And for all intents and purposes, they won a division. Now, I'm not gonna give them too much credit for winning the division, especially with
7-9.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give them too much credit. Especially if Dak, they get this whole Dak situation right.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be in contention. I like to think for the division. I mean,
well, if Ryan Fitzpatrick is the route that they're gonna go, then they could just guarantee themselves out of the playoffs, because every team that guy has been on has not been a postseason team. Like, going back to last year, and I thought he played pretty well for the Dolphins when he came in. That dude has been a part of 2 10-6 football teams that have missed the playoffs. Think about that for a second. 10-6 with the Jets back in 2015, and his Dolphins team just last year.
Yeah, but here's the thing though.
Mm-hmm.
He in the NFC now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if this happens, I mean, he's in the NFC.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's a good point. Let's see what happens. I mean, the NFC East, I don't want to say the NFC, but the NFC East is wide open, as it's been, in a long time. So we'll see what happens there. Speaking of quarterbacks that could possibly be with the Washington football team, so there was a snippet I saw of Ocho Cinco and Brandon Marshall. They do a podcast together. I forget the name of the podcast.
Been watching it.
But Brandon Marshall brought up the idea of possibly Cam Newton going to join Ron Rivera, reunite with the Washington football team. How do you feel about that?
Well, I've been hearing rumors. I like the Steelers rumors better.
Yeah.
I like the Steelers rumors better than I like the football team rumors.
It sounds like,
to answer your question.
Well, in regards to Cam Newton, because you certainly loved it when we were talking Ryan Fitzpatrick. So, But as far as Roethlisberger, he's coming back. It sounds to me like he gonna start for y'all this season.
See, no, he wants to come back. He
Yeah, we
wants
know
to come
that.
back. The Steelers want him to come back. Yeah.
But they want him to come
Even
back
though I don't
under
know why they would want.
They want him to take some money back, right? Or to give some money back, I should say.
Yeah. Give some money back. He said he's willing to give some money back. I don't know how believable. I don't know how much I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just talking about my wish. I'm just talking about what I would like. Not necessarily talking about what's going to happen or what I think is actually going to happen. I'm just talking about I would really love Cam Newton to be the starter for the Steelers next year and not Ben Roethlisberger. I would love Ben Roethlisberger to be at home.
If I was a betting guy and had to place a bet on who's going to start week 1 for your team, I would bet Roethlisberger.
Of course. I'm just talking about my wish list, brother.
I know. I'm just letting you know how I feel about that situation.
I don't need that negative energy over here.
It's not gonna be good for y'all.
I don't need that negative energy over here, bro.
If that happens, it ain't gonna be good for y'all.
I tell you what, man.
What's up?
If we can get a running game going, it won't be as bad.
Yeah, that could help too.
But the problem is the running game been trash.
Yeah, I saw a mock draft where it has you guys selecting Najee Harris.
I've been saying that, but I've been saying that since. Yeah, I mean. I've been saying that since forever. I mean, there's also a rumor that we could get Aaron Jones in the off season. So,
Aaron Jones from the
Green
Packers.
Bay, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was a free agent.
I don't know if he is either. I'm just talking about what be on my Steelers Twitter rumor mill.
Bunch of trade rumors.
Yeah,
and all that stuff going on.
You know, like the Allen Robinson thing in Baltimore. That's a big thing. That is.
That is a big thing. I would love for that to happen.
Of course, I'm just saying. As a fan, I'm going to put those little rumor mills out there for sake of it actually happening.
Yeah, well,
I'd be good with Aaron Jones, but I'd rather have Najee Harris than Aaron Jones. But but I'd take Aaron Jones if we can get him, for a good price.
And hell, why not get both?
Sure, but
you know what I'm saying?
But that almost certainly puts McFarland in the doghouse, not the doghouse, but the back closet of
third
the
string,
running back
right?
room.
He'd be third string.
No, I mean it depends on James Conner stays. I mean, for all intents and purposes, I think he's going to be gone.
Good point.
But depends on what happens with James Conner. I just want Anthony McFarland to get a fair shake at being a weapon in our offense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's too fast to not get an opportunity, I think.
Right. So we brought up Cam Newton earlier, and I wanted to get your opinion about this. I'm sure you saw the video, like mostly everybody did. Cam Newton's football camp, mad youth at the camp and all that. And
7-on-7 camp.
Yep. And this kid decides, hey, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said, yo, Cam, you ass. Like he told Cam that he was ass at football. After that, they had the back and forth. We told him, yo, I'm rich. I might be ass, but I'm rich. And after a while, he talked it out with the kid. Everything's all good, all cool. Both parties, moved on from that point. If you're a parent of this young man, how would you feel if that happened, right in front of you, and you took your kid to camp, and this kid called one of the better athletes in the game ass?
I would see. For me, and by the way, I had no problem with the exchange at all.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem with the kid or with Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the parent, I wish Cam Newton would have took his ass on the field and showed him what it looked like. That's what I wish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's the thing about football. And that kid, and I hope, I ain't gonna say he needs to have this realization. I don't know if he does or doesn't. it's probably hundreds of kids at that camp,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a very low probability of 20% of them kids making the league.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And the percentage might be lower than that. You might be nice about that 20%.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So even if Cam Newton is ass, and he'd be, I mean, if you're comparing it to how he played against New England,
yeah,
statistically, and didn't know everything that was going on as far as systems and what was going on behind the scenes, yeah, that's not a far-fetched thing to say to a player.
Yeah.
But here you are at his camp because you know who he is and what he's done in the league, in the game of football, not just the NFL, but in Auburn and in Georgia, at Georgia, right, where he played high school ball at. So for me, it's just like, all right, you don't believe I'm nice? Yeah. All right, come on out here. And if I'm purring, I'm like, yeah, go out there, because I heard what you said.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's one thing to have an opinion and believe your opinion, but it's another thing to say it with the lack of regard of what he's done.
Right.
Cam Newton was or is the man. He's had some injuries, some, a bad year in New England.
Mm-hmm.
All those things are true, but to sit here and act like this dude ain't an MVP in this league, Heisman winner in college, he winning on all levels. It's just disrespectful to say to him. And I would have let him. I'd have showed him exactly why he should have said it. If I'm Cam Newton and if I'm the parent, I like, yeah, go out there, go find out why he the one holding this camp and you not.
Yeah, I agree with you. As a parent, I would have loved to have seen that happen.
And I'd have had it all on tape. It'd have been great. It'd have been great footage.
And also, I would have gave him a little bit of punishment myself as the parent, of course. So he's gonna get double. He's gonna get double that from me. Anyway.
I wouldn't have punished him. I'd have watched him get his ass whooped by Cam Newton. I mean, on the football field, obviously not a physical fight. Mm-hmm. And then I'd have been like, yeah, stupid. You deserve that. Yeah. And I hope you learned your lesson for not respecting the greats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm not going because here's the thing. Football is competitive. You want your kids on the football field to be able to not. I don't want my kid. If my kid's playing football, I know how the game works. Meaning inside that. On that field, I know what go on. People be talking reckless to each other to get edges. People be doing so. If I want my kid to be successful, I know that to some extent he's going to have to play that little game.
Yeah.
With football players, legends or not, because my goal is to defeat it as the football players to beat the other side. So, yeah, do what you need to do to get yourself hyped up. Woo, 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 woo. But no. That when you come up against somebody that's better and you can't do nothing with them, know that.
Yeah.
So this
I don't disagree.
Could have been a teachable moment. This could have just been a teachable moment, and that's what it was. I mean, he apologized and said something to the effect of the kid. I mean, I'm competitive and whoop whoop whoop, and that's where it came from because I'm competitive and dot dot dot. And yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't have a problem with any of that stuff. I actually would welcome that. I'm just making the point that in addition to that, I would have gotten my own pound of flesh, and that doesn't mean that I'm saying that I, put hands on my son if he ever did that. But I would just let him know, hey, you gonna go through this drill. He gonna show you that he's better than you. From a physical standpoint, you gonna take that hit. Or however you take the hit, and then when you with me,
I'm gonna show you on tape.
I'm gonna show you. I can show you on tape, but I'm also gonna take some privileges away from you. I don't know what those privileges are at the moment, but Yeah, I'm
You mean like take his phone? Like when you say privilege, meaning you're gonna punish him for talking shit to Cam Newton?
Yeah, in some way or fashion,
Yeah,
That's
what I disagree with. I wouldn't have did that.
No, and that's fine with that. I don't mind you disagreeing with me with that. I'm just saying, for me as the dad, I would love all those things, to take place, because look, at the end of the day, these kids, they're gonna get older. They need to be humbled in these situations, and you can never be humbled enough. I guess is what I'm trying to get to.
Okay.
No matter who the figure is. Like, I love the fact that Cam talked to that young man and humbled him. I'm sure his folks did something more extreme beyond that, but I'm sure his folks had something to say to him as well. So from all angles, from the athlete's perspective, from the parents' perspective. I'm not punishing
him, though.
But
I hear you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, and I wasn't talking physical. I was just more so saying.
No, I'm talking about. I'm not taking this. I'm not punishing him. Like, I'm not about to tell you, you can't have your phone tonight because of what you said to Cam Newton and a competitive type of thing.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna be like, yeah. So watch who you talk to, because Cam Newton just busted your ass for you calling him sorry. So just know that if you're gonna say that to another football player on the football field, you better be better than that motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's a teachable lesson.
Yeah, let me say what's up to we got Alejandro Burgos in the building on Facebook Live. He chimed in when we were on the Fitzpatrick topic. He says, no, we don't want Ryan, with a little LOL emoji there. We also got BS3 here in Facebook Live. Welcome, BS3. We appreciate it. And then Mocha Bella's in the chat. She says that kid was doing it for the cameras. Yeah, I agree with that.
Cool.
I agree with that.
And that also means, for me, Cam Newton should have did it for the camera.
Which he did.
Nah, I mean, yeah, but I look.
But you're talking about on the field.
Let him know on that, the field. Yeah, you not me yet, player. Yep. You not me yet.
Yeah. I'm curious what the optics would have been had that really happened. Not that I disagree with him taking him to the field and doing that. I would have been all for that. I'm just curious if that video surfaced, what the optics would be on that.
I don't care.
No, I don't care either. I'm just curious.
I'm not. I'd be here caping for Cam Newton if anybody tried to say something like, "Look what he doing to that kid." Like, nah, Slim.
Yeah.
You on the football field now? Don't talk to me crazy.
And the reality is, that's probably what would have happened. Unfortunately.
I mean, I knew that's where you was going when you said I wonder. I knew that's where you was going. I don't care.
Unfortunately, that's what would happen. And I wouldn't care either. I would have just been like, yo, he had to humble the kid. I'm good with it. You just upset that it's on camera. You're not upset that it happened. You know what I'm saying?
He might have even been embarrassed that it happened, because obviously he was around his peers. You know what I'm saying? His mans, his football team. He was around people he know.
Yeah,
he was going to get clowned when it was over. You know what I'm saying? He probably got clowned a little. He probably got clowned when it was over. Like, yeah, he is rich and you is broke. Yep. You is at, you know what I'm saying? He probably did catch a little smoke behind it. But if I'm Cam Newton, I'm like, yeah, like, come on. What's poppin'? Let's Let's go.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it on. Yeah.
And I'd have stiff armed his ass like Marshawn Lynch stiff armed that high school kid.
At first I thought you was gonna say Roman Harper, but yeah.
Nah. You remember that?
I remember it. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
Stiff armed the shit out of that little high school kid. Yeah, he'd have got that smoke.
Yeah, I remember. When I think of Marshawn Lynch and stiff arm in the same sentence, I always think about Roman Harper, because he got stiff armed crazy in that game years ago. So shifting to basketball. So the Minnesota Timberwolves played my Knicks the other night. I think it was Sunday, and we beat them by about 4 points that night. And they being the Timberwolves, decided to let Ryan Saunders go. Now here's the interesting thing about this, right? And I saw this tweet from Damian Lillard a few minutes after I found out about the firing. The Timberwolves decided to reach out to the Raptors and pull one of their guys. I forget the guy's name. Finch, I think is his name, but he was on the Raptors coaching staff, and they decided we're gonna hire this guy the same day we fire Ryan Saunders, which I've never seen that before in the NBA. Usually, you promote somebody that's on the current staff and you bump them up to interim status.
Tampering.
So yes, that's what it smells. That's what it smells like. If not, that's what it is. So I thought this tweet from Damian Lillard was so on point, right? So he says, "How the hell do you not hire David Vanderpool?" And for folks that don't know who David Vanderpool is, he's a black man on the Timberwolves coaching staff that's been there for 7 years. And really, if you're there 7 years, then at some point you gotta be, getting bumped up to like head coach status.
You like to think so?
What's that?
You like to think so?
You would like to think so, yeah. So Damian continues and he says, How do you not hire David Vanderpool, and he's right there on the bench and has been in the front office successfully and on the front of a bench of a winning team successfully for 7 years, and also has played a major role in the development of a dominant backcourt, shaking my damn head. I 100% agree with Damian Lillard. Like, if you're going to go to another team in the middle of a season and try to pull another assistant off that team on the same day you fire the coach, and you're not even going to promote from within, like, that's just lousy on the Timberwolves' part.
Yeah, I hear you there. I think the bigger issue is how long is it going to take for the NBA to call tampering? How long is that going to take?
Yeah, because there's no way that you do an interview.
You vetted this motherfucker and hired him all in the same day.
Yeah.
That I don't. That's what I don't like, and not that I don't agree with that tweet or that sentiment, but you telling me you fired and hired a nigga in the same day, and that's all right. That's cool. Ain't nobody.
Yeah,
that's
concerned. Yeah, I'm not feeling this move at all. Not them firing Ryan Saunders, but the move to tamper, get somebody else, and not promote from within. And I mean, this has NFL written all over it, and the NBA is culpable. There's some teams that are culpable of doing these kinds of things to, keep black men from these kind of opportunities. This was definitely one of them.
Hey, I'm just gonna say that NBA, they was tampering, and y'all need to do something about it. While we still in the NBA, man, I feel like you're not paying my squad the respect right now that they deserve. 3 out of 5.
Me personally?
Yeah, you personally.
Why?
Are not paying my squad the respect they deserve for the past week.
Okay, I mean, it was the past week.
The Wizards.
I mean, we got this opportunity now to give them the praise.
The Wizards, nah. But don't worry, I'm gonna do it. The Wizards right now on a 5-game win streak. I know they play the Clippers later on tonight. 3 out of the 5 games, Westbrook fucked around, got a triple-double. And this ain't no bullshit wins these past 5 games.
I know they beat the Lakers. They beat the No, they didn't beat the Clippers yet. But yeah, they played some quality teams. I understand that. But I don't believe in the Wizards right now. Credit for winning. I give them credit for winning 5 games in a row. But
against quality teams, not just 5 games in a row. 5 games in a row. The Celtics ain't no slouch team. The Rockets.
I think we got to question the Celtics a little bit, and it's no disrespect to the Wizards, but I think we're at this point now that we got to call team. Brad Stevens to the carpet.
Yes, he hasn't been great, but do we believe the Celtics aren't making the playoffs?
Of course they are. It's the Eastern Conference.
All right, so
give
me my shit. Don't take nothing from my shit.
Okay.
Give me all my shit.
Look, What you want? What
If
else
you-
you want me to say? What
I'm just
else?
telling
What else
you,
you
give me
want
my
me to say?
shit.
You want me to throw some
Nah.
pom poms?
Yeah, throw the motherfucking pom poms, my nigga. Give me my shit.
Let's have a parade. You want to have a parade in Anacostia?
Yeah,
We could do that.
Yeah, look, Trailblazers ain't no slouch. The Nuggets ain't no slouch, bruh.
Okay, all right. They got some quality wins, brother.
That's all I'm saying. Is just respect that we on a 5-game winning streak. You know what I'm saying? Bradley Beal doing what Bradley Beal do. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Westbrook, who triple doubles, 3 out of 5.
So what's your record right now?
A terrible one. We are I know we like 12, 13 seed, brother. I'm not focused on that right now. What I'm focused on is 5 quality wins in a row.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
I can only go one game at I can only go a game at a time, brother. You talking about some other shit?
We'll see what happens the rest of the way, bruh. I'm not trying to disrespect the Wizards' the week of the Wizards. I'm not trying to disrespect that.
Why you putting that in quotation mark? That's what it was. The week of the Wizards.
How often we do this podcast?
Why you
it was just the way you came at me. I was like, wait, did I not? And if you were saying I didn't tweet about the Wizards during the week, you're so right about that, because I didn't tweet about the Wizards at all during the week between the last time we was on here and now. But the way you came at me, I was like, whoa. Was I supposed to tweet about them this week?
Respect my team, man.
So
respect my team, man.
They on a 5-game win streak, bro. That's a fact. I'm sorry. Against quality competition. Let me just throw that out there.
Respect my team, man.
I'm gonna just throw that out there.
It ain't no throw out there. It's out there. Respect my team, man.
So look, Boogie Cousins, if he hasn't been cut already, the Rockets are gonna.
I think he's been cut.
I think he has been cut. He has been cut.
I think he has been cut.
Okay, so I got a solution for Boogie.
Go to hell.
Holla at the Lakers.
The Lakers?
The Lakers. Think about it. AD's hurt. He'll probably be out 3 to 4 weeks. And in no way am I comparing AD to Boogie Cousins. They're two different players. But I mean, I think the Lakers could use somebody like him. I mean, given the void that needs to be filled, I think he can help fill the void. I don't think he can completely fill that void.
All right. I mean, I would. How was he in Houston?
Man, maybe like 10 points, 13 boards a game on average, and I'm just guessing at those numbers, but it's not something that if Boogie Cousins was doing Boogie Cousins things like he was in Sacramento, I think we would have been hearing his name a lot more this year. And especially given the Rockets have played better basketball since the trade of getting, Oladipo on board and already having John Wall there, I thought we would have heard Boogie Cousins' name a little bit more. Again, I'm just guessing at those averages, but it's not what he was. Even when he was with New Orleans. He's not.
Well, let's be clear. He's just not who he was, and we know that's. We know
he's not the same. Yeah, he's not the same cat.
I'm trying to find what he's doing point wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think at this point, and I think the most disappointing thing for him is the opportunity to make more money, man. I remember that year in New Orleans where he was up for a contract.
10 and 10.
10 and 10?
No, I'm sorry. 10 and 8.
10 and 8.
10 points, and I'm rounding up. So 9.6,
right.
7.6.
Okay. Yeah. He's not the same. But
shooting 37% from the field.
But I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed for him. Going back to the year he had in New Orleans before I think he hurt his Achilles. I think that year, and was due up to get a large contract, and he never got that contract. I think he took a pay cut to go to the Lakers for that one or couple of years. Yeah. So I just feel terrible for him. Just the way his career has gone from being so great to now it's because of the injuries and all that.
Yeah,
So
the gamble you take, man.
yeah. But yeah, somebody, if not the Lakers, somebody should be knocking on his door. I would
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, the role is getting smaller and smaller per team. It looks like
it is, but I still think he. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think he was ever a good defender?
No. When you say good, I mean average. Average.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like at Sacramento, average.
Right.
Maybe average.
Right. Yeah. I can agree with that. I think throughout his career, I think he's been average at best on defense.
And see, now at this stage of his career,
Mm-hmm.
if he's going to be on teams, I would think that he's going to have to be a better defender than he's ever been in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not a option on any team offensively. He's not a 1, 2, or 3 option anywhere in the NBA.
Right.
At this stage of his career.
Yeah, I think someone is going to give him a shot. If it's not the Lakers, then I think maybe one. I'd say 2 teams at the most. I think could give him a shot. I can't think of those 2 teams right now that could use him. But I know all these teams are scoring a bunch, and I'm sure that even some of these teams that don't play defensively very well could even use an average defender like him.
Yeah, I don't see a bad defensive team picking him up for defense.
Mm-hmm. Not when it's not guaranteed anyway.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't see that bad defensive team saying, "Ooh, shit, let's go get Boogie Cousins because our defense is bad."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got one more thing to mention here, and I always want to give praise to up and coming athletes, players that play hard and they earn money and they get a good contract. Fernando Tatis Jr. with the San Diego Padres was given a 14-year, $340 million contract. Now, this kid is only 21 years old. He batted .377 last year, 17 home runs. All this, playing 60 games. So imagine him playing a full season. He's probably hitting 50 home runs in that particular season. His rookie year, I think he was rookie of the year the previous year. He batted like .270, .275. Had about 30 home runs that year. And he's one of the more exciting baseball players to watch. Like, when you think about Jose Bautista and the bat flip, like, Fernando Tatis has brought that back, right? So, he's one of the more fun players, to watch. He's definitely a top 10 player in the sport. So, shout out to Tatis Jr. for getting rich at 21.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Mm-hmm, no doubt. You got anything else, bruh?
Nope. Right. I don't know if we properly highlighted Naomi Osaka.
Congrats. Congrats to the queen.
For sure. Congrats to the queen.
Yeah.
The torch has officially been passed.
Yeah. So you think this is it for Serena as far as like playing, period, or?
No, I think she'll still play. But the torch has been passed.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that part. I agree with that. The reason I asked that was because I watched a snippet of that presser, and she was trying to answer somebody's question about what went wrong in the match, and she just had a little bit of breakdown, and she just kind of left the podium. Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, okay, that's emotional. She just lost. She's a competitor, that kind of a thing. And then
what that said to me?
What?
That said to me when when Slim asked that question, It was like she realized, oh shit, I'm not the best no more.
Yeah. I was thinking she might just hang it up at this point, but who knows? And isn't she like one major away from tying somebody for most major wins? I saw that stat, so maybe you're right in the sense that she'll come back and try to, tie whoever it is for the most, majors. But
But you don't
Serena.
want to tie. You don't want to tie nobody.
Of course, you don't want to tie nobody. You want to exceed it, obviously. But
Yeah.
I only say tie because she just wants tie. She's gonna want to exceed that. She's still the GOAT in my eyes in terms of tennis.
For now,
yeah.
We don't know what Naomi
All
gonna
time,
do.
but I'm saying in terms of being an all-time great, Serena is an all-time great.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but Naomi's got the torch now, and this is her third win in a row over Serena.
Fourth.
If I'm not mistaken, her fourth.
Over Serena. I'm not sure, but I know this is her fourth.
It's her third over
win.
Serena in a row. Third in a row over Serena. So shout out to both queens. And, shout out to everybody in Facebook Live that checked us out. Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live. We appreciate all of y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in, listening to the podcast. Make sure y'all listen to us on these platforms. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Also, don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. With the Facebook page, make sure you guys click the like button. And we'll be doing these Facebook Live shows from here on out. Also on YouTube, we'll be doing YouTube Live. So make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And if you got any questions or comments about the show, you could just hit us up on email at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. And I got one last thing to say. Welcome home, Bobby Shmurda. I'm going to just close it at that.
All right, bro.
All right. I'll holler at y'all. Y'all have a good week. Peace out.